So next up, we have probably one of the most commonly used frameworks here. It is, I think, the one that all three of our presenters are using professionally in their lives. We have Marlena, who's working as an engineer at Quizlet, and she's going to be presenting React to us.
You're playing cookies.
I'm not on the Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Wi-Fi.
do you have a Wi-Fi?
I do have Wi-Fi. Here's had one.
Had one.
And then welcome to code, all one word lowercase. Welcome to code, all one word lowercase.
All right. Now I can find the screen.
All right.
Cool. That is probably awfully tiny. Cool. Hi, everyone. Hello back there in the red shirt. Yellow text. All right, I would like to get started. You're so much quieter now, Kyle. All right, before I get started, I'd like to give you guys a little bit of context about me doing this React version. I am an organizer of the Vue.js Meetup. I have been working in Vue for the last 2 years, and I've been working in React for the last 2 weeks. So you'll see the client 2, client 3, client 4, client 5. I have built this app 6 times in 6 completely different ways, and you are about to see version number 7. So I have also started with a pre-generated app using this npx create React app, client 7. And Cass gave me the inspiration to say, hey, let's show them what it looks like. So we'll get that started over in this other terminal. And eventually, React is just slower about everything. We have an app. I've got a few notes here for myself, but let's dig in a little bit. So much like Vue, React has an entry point which every browser is going to go look at, which is index.html. And there's a lot of stuff going on here, but we care about this div ID root. Then over here in our index.js, we have React DOM render coming in from React and React DOM, grabs this app top level component, renders it to root. So that's how we have a functioning app. We're going to jump into this app component. So we don't have the joy of single file components, however, we do have a pretty solid starting point here, but we're going to clean out a lot of React stuff to put in our own. And we know we want to do an H1, nope, H1, with barkwire. And if we just make that change, it gets mad at us because we're not using the logo. But our app is going to look a little something like that. Not the prettiest thing you've ever seen, right? We're also getting rid of this app.css because we're not using any of the classes from it. Now, our amazing designer has given us this CSS file. I'm gonna. Oh, I'm gonna give CJ all the credit. We're gonna hop into that index.html and bring that CSS file in as a CDN. Oh shoot, I forgot to take my Fitbit off. I cannot code with something on my wrist. Hang on, everything has to stop. All right, we're good. Now, still can't spell, nothing's changed there. And we're gonna do text CSS, href. There's our CSS file. And now, nope, not Spotlight. Hey, we have a green header. And if we hop into app.js and give ourselves a footer, and grab this copy that legal gave us, we'll have a footer, copyright Barkwire Inc. But it's kind of like all squished together, so let's give it a main to break things up. Cool. Start of an app, believe it or not. Now what needs to go in main? As Cass helpfully let everyone know, we've got a couple user stories to work on, and the first one is a list of all dogs. So I'm gonna hop over to my other terminal window here and touch, sorry, nope. There we go. And we're gonna call ours dog list, and it's .js, not .vue. Maybe?
You're on the client.
Oh, thank you. Now let's try that again. Yay, okay. Vague amounts of success. So the first thing we want to do in this component, we're making our first React component, is import React from React. The / is such a habit. And I'm not a big fan of class syntax in JavaScript, so we're just gonna ignore that exists. And export default, a nice little function that will produce our component. And so that needs to return something called JSX, which you might have noticed in app.js. We've got this return parentheses. That's so that we can return JSX, which is totally JavaScript. But is really HTML with some JavaScript mixed in. And since we're making a list, I'm gonna make it a UL, and that UL is going to contain some LIs, and for now we're gonna say, it works. We can't really test that unless we have it in here, so we're going to be importing, I can't talk and type anymore, it's really sad. Dog list from dog list. And then we just bring it in here like this. No need to register it. And now we have it works in very tiny text. Yeah, we did it. React, it's real. Don't need that anymore. But it's not really useful for it to just tell us that, it can render text. So let's talk about what should go in this LI. It should be a list of dogs. And to get that, we're gonna want to do slightly different. I'm still on promises. I'm old school. So we're just gonna fetch. I got that handy dandy API URL here.
Fucking sick away!
He said it, not me. So we're gonna use .then to wait for the response, and then we're gonna do the res.json stuff. Then we'll take the data from that, and then what are we gonna do with it?
Console login.
No. I don't have time for that shit. I'm on a schedule here. So, I guess for a long time, React people, you couldn't use state in functional components, and that seems really sad. Let's do something about that with hooks. I hear it's the wave of the future. So we're going to import something else from React. Apparently the boring hook, I've been told, use state. And what use state will let us do is hook into React's reactivity system. Fuck off. I mean, all right. using React's reactivity system and all the other cool features of React within functions instead of classes. So useState is going to be how we set state within this component. So I'm gonna have a const, it's gonna have an array, it's gonna be an array of dogs and set dogs. And that is going to be equal to useState, which I am gonna initialize as an empty array because we're going to have an array of dogs. And then it's really cool, I know it's me, but we can just set dogs, oops, to data, and we have it. It's that simple to hook in with hooks. So, I know, I gotta stop. So then we can just do, have some JavaScript here and do dogs.map, dog. We're gonna return some more JSX out of this map, and each dog that we get back from the API will be an LI, and that will have a section with a class name, dog listing. Each section will have h3, which will be the dog.name. Another section. You'll notice this looks a lot like Cass's. It's going to look a lot like Cass's. Figure, image. Really trying to do it. I've put so many colons in my React code, it's ridiculous. And alt. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. And then P with dog.string.
I've got
Huh?
in your image.
Yes.
Image alt. Dot.
Sure.
Accessibility.
And so now we've got a list of we can't really do much with them right now. They're just there and adorable and I love them all. But I don't have a dog, I just have to like love everyone else's dogs.
How many snakes do you have?
One! And he's adorable and I love him. So, distracting me with snakes, it's not fair. I really like snakes, okay? We'll just stop that there. I'm going to npm install reach router, which is just really crazy simple. So as I was learning React and was like a little bit overwhelmed by everything that was going on, reach router was like, oh, it's that simple. So I really like it. And so we're gonna actually jump back to app.js because this is where we need to change between our different views here in main. I'm gonna pull out dog list. We're gonna import router from reach router. And then it's this simple. Let me give it a path. And we've got a route set up. That's it. Right? Right? I'm like, oh, this is good. But a router is not that useful until you have multiple routes to go to. So, I'm getting there. Gosh, I'm going as fast as I can, and you're still not happy. So we're making dog page.js here, and that will give us our second route.
Yes. Show the bunny.
All right, so we're gonna. Routing got everybody real chatty. So we're gonna return some JSX again, And we'll just section with dog page. All right, I promise, it's real. All right, app.js, let's import dog page. And then down here, we say, and so if you've ever used Express, you'll be awfully familiar with this colon. So excited.
Just money.
I still can't, because all I have is this dog page text. We're getting there though, Ken. We're getting there, and I will. I love bunnies. I'm allergic to them, but I love them. All right. So our dog page needs to display something more than that, and I can build out a similar thing, but I'd actually like to do something similar to Cass, where I'm going to abstract this whole thing. Oh, I know why it wasn't quite displaying right. I forgot a class. Okay, now it's gonna like tile better. It matters. So we're gonna take all of this code and pull it out into its own component. So let's do doglisting.js. And this will be our DOM component of the whole app. Lovely. All right, so now dog list is awfully broken. It's unhappy. So we'll bring in import dog listing from dog listing. Always. It wouldn't be me if I didn't misspell at least 10 things. Anyways. So this will be a dog listing, which needs to have some concept of what a dog is. So we are gonna give it some props, and it'll be props.dog, and this is super efficient, I promise. I'm the driest. Cool. But more importantly, did you know I didn't know React before 2 weeks ago? All right. Also, I forgot to add my key. I'm very ashamed of myself. All right, everything is happier, including React. No, that's a lie. Expected an assignment or function call, instead saw an expression in dog.
Return on your dog list.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing I have to do. Nope. I've just typed dog so many times, it's the first thing I type. Hey, look, a list of dogs. All right. Calm down. We still don't have a dog page, so chill. I love it. I do. All right, moving faster. Hopefully, right? So we're going to import dog listing. At least I caught it that time. And then instead of section, we'll just return dog listing. Cool. That's great. We still don't have the dog. So normally I would just kind of like go, okay, let's fetch. Like, it is pretty quick, but like, this seems to be a thing that we're doing. So I'm going to make one more file. I have no idea where I'm at on time, but you're all in, right? Okay, and we're gonna call this get dogs. And what I want to do in get dogs is take this fetch pattern I have going on here and just abstract it out into a custom hook. All right, so we've got this, and the first thing that I know is that the URL is not going to be the same every time. So we're going to give this URL argument. And dog list is going to need to import this. No, apologies. So React is super picky about custom hooks. It needs to be use get dogs so that it knows that it's a hook from get dogs. And then I can just say use get dogs and pass it that URL, kind of. Except at this point, get dogs is going to set dogs, and that's going to be a little confusing when I'm using it in other places. So I actually don't want that there, and I'm going to pass it a setter. And that means that I can go to dog lists and pass it set dogs, and this is going to do everything for me. I've used a custom hook, which is the only other place that you can use hooks other than in components. And so we still have, hopefully.
Do you need one center?
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Right there.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Cool. We still have dogs. Right. And what this means is that even though I've been rambling at you for a good long while, at least it feels like to me, when I go to dog page, found it, and import use get dogs from get dogs, I can just say use get dogs and pass it that same URL except with the ID, as you saw previously. Now you might be wondering where in the hell I'm getting the ID from. And that's where Reach-Router is also really cool, is that that :dog ID is just automatically passed as a prop to the component that is rendering with that route. So if I put props here and say props.dog ID, it's just gonna work. We're almost there, we're almost there. I still need to bring in that use state hook again to maintain state in this component. So we'll bring in use state, and then const dog, set dog equals use state, and this is time it's an object, and then we're going to pass this set dog, and then dog listing dog equals dog. Did I do it right? Who thinks I did it right? CJ, you don't count. Wait, I'm still missing something, you guys. What? It's almost like we need not dog listing, not dog page. Oh, yeah. All right, so import link from Reach-Router. Maybe we should link to it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our link now. God, it's just, I do like how simple this is. I'm really sad to say that. Anyways. And we're gonna say dog.id. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting up with me.